Survivor has been around for 20 years now, with several international seasons, and, as a result, has introduced various twists to refresh the franchise. That being said, some of these twists weren't good, and specifically the 5 we'll be looking at today best remind me of a circle. Get it? Because they're both pointless? Anyway, rolling into number 5 is the Sabotage Advantage from Island of the Idols. Now, for context, Season 39 introduced many trials where contestants could gain advantages like an idol. These tests ranged from sneaking into another tribe's camp, competing in a fire-making challenge, or even one where you're literally rewarded if you're a stalker of Sandra. One of these twists, featured in episode 8, is where Jamal picked up a hanging advantage with the text, "You found me, I'm yours." Obviously he takes it, with his buddy Karishma even stating in a confessional she was annoyed she didn't get it first, but things weren't all as good as they seemed. Jamal arrives on the Island of Idols, where it's revealed it was instead a disadvantage. Jamal had lost his vote. The justification from Rob was equally ridiculous, as he goes on to say, "There's no such thing as a free lunch in Survivor," which is rather ironic coming from Mr. Redemption Island winner, no? Considering this was the first and only occasion a proper disadvantage was used on Season 39, it really brings into question why it was ever added. Moreover, the entire ideology of the exercise could be argued to deter contestants from picking up advantages on future seasons that could be idols. But after revealing Jamal lost his vote for making a perfectly rational decision, Sandra offers him 2 incredible items: a piece of paper and an IKEA pencil. Really? Now, Jamal does make a fake legacy advantage for Dean that he did believe to be real, which I think says more about Dean than anything, but the fact this was seen as a reward to give to the contestants by the producers is ridiculous, thus landing it here at 5. Following on from that is Australian Survivor Brains vs Brawn, and since the twist doesn't have an official name, I'm just going to call it Insanity. That lies here at number 4. Now, I'll fully admit in this video, I'm slightly softer on Australian Survivor due to non-elimination episodes being required so they can fill all the episode slots. But it still doesn't stop me from pointing out when they've gone too far. In episode 14, this point is exemplified. Firstly, we have the immunity challenge, where Jonathan reveals they won't be playing for 1 immunity necklace, but 3. Now, Survivor has done this before, notably in the US, where they've given away multiple immunity necklaces, but in this case, it's only been 2. And they've also just kept the twist at that. Jonathan then continues to explain the 3 that win immunity won't be just safe, but are the only ones able to cast a vote. That's right, only 3 people could cast a vote, on a tribe of 12. But all in all, Emmett, Andrew and Danny win immunity. So that should be it, right? No. Jonathan pulls a prehistoric Season 41 Jeff Probst, announcing the prior 3 that had won the opportunity to vote would suddenly have to compete in the fire-making challenge, and then only the winner can vote. Like goodness, can we stop with the add-ons? So Danny wins the fire-making challenge, making her now one of 3 people with immunity and one of 12 people that can vote. And in perhaps the most unfair elimination within a vacuum, Baden is eliminated from the game with this 1 single vote. And that's not even the worst part, because only after the elimination, we learn Baden was booted on a non-elimination episode and gets to spend 2 episodes on Redemption Rock, awaiting a comeback challenge to return to the game. So the whole episode is essentially pointless. It really feels like the producers all sat in a room, wrote on a piece of paper the worst twists they could think of, and included them all simultaneously in this twist. On the topic of redemption, bad twists and Australian Survivor, the following season, Blood vs Water, takes a 3rd place spot with its Purgatory twist. This was a Redemption Island style twist that lasted between the final 10 and 7 across 3 episodes where nobody was eliminated. The handling of this twist is also done in a way that almost forces the majority to stick together and pick off the minority. Shay is booted first, and because she wasn't on the jury, it let everyone in the game know there was likely a Redemption Island twist. If that didn't sell them after booting Jordy, Jonathan informs them they'll have to boot another person immediately, which ever since season 1 of the reboot has only been reserved for non-elimination episodes. Survivor US has done this style of twist before, of an immediate second boot, but only when there is a clear begonging of the minority, and this transpired into Australian Survivor, where it forces the majority to pick off the next person, KJ, before she could even try to flip the game. At the final 7, the final minority member, Michelle, is then voted out as the cast is then officially informed of Purgatory. It's a pointless twist that forces the majority to play safe, as after knowing people may be returning, there's no point to make a big move on an individual only for them to return and be bitter against you. There's no point playing advantages either, as idling someone out would only result in them returning, and there's no point in idling an ally who could return too. Ultimately, the Purgatory twist allowed the first 3 of the 4 previously eliminated contestants to return to the game in the challenge. And just for clarification, this means we spent roughly 4 hours for a single elimination. This individual was also Michelle, who over the past 12 pre-merge episodes got 1 total confessional. As one of my commenters writes, Purgatory was just the icing on the cake that made AU Blood vs Water horrible. The theme was Purgatory, and ironically, bored the viewer to death. On the topic of death, at number 2 we have the do or die twist at the time of recording, appearing in Survivor 41 and 42. The do or die twist consisted of 2 elements. First was an individual immunity challenge at the final 7, where Jeff gave the contestants the opportunity to sit out or play, wherein the first eliminated in the challenge would have to participate in do or die. And it is nice, Jeff at least this time tells them about the twist before the challenge. The loser then has to embark on essentially the Monty Hall problem, where Jeff offers 3 boxes. If they pick one of the 2 skulls, they're automatically eliminated, without advantages saving them, or if they pick the fire, they're kept in the game and a normal vote occurs. Thanks. I hate it. In my opinion, it's deeply unsatisfying to see Survivor designate a round, the final 7, to a twist that forces someone to be eliminated without receiving a vote. And while on both occasions Deshaun and Lindsay picked the correct box, in spite of it being a statistical improbability, guys, it further provides how pointless this twist can be in the event that someone succeeds. It's made irrelevant. And perhaps the best segue I've ever made on the topic of irrelevant, at number 1 we have that. The Medallion of Power will go down as the most overhyped twist ever. It was introduced in Survivor Nicaragua, took up half the premiere, and involved several contestants having to fight amongst themselves while climbing a tall tree to get it. Yeah, that looks like a lawsuit waiting to happen. So while Brenda gets it, and after an infuriating segment of the show where Jeff has to end every conceivable segment with the word power, the young tribe with the medallion can either keep it or trade it for pretty much every reward possible. Jeff never informed the youngsters what the medallion actually did, so they said screw it and gave it to the old people. This causes Jeff to rattle off how the Medallion of Power has so much power and appears to warn Brenda for her decision. So what's this incredible overhyped power? Is it a god idol, a chest of money? Could it be the answer to what Debbie Warner's actual job is? No, it is a bucket of water. The Medallion of Power, upon its reveal, turned out to be a medallion of slight challenge improvement, and even that might be overselling it. The first challenge it could be used on allowed the older tribe to fill their water bucket by a 5th, which may sound useful until you realise the first challenge took a minute to do. My favourite one, however, is when the perk of the Medallion Power is to literally sit Dan out of a challenge. All the Medallion of Power really did, on best occasion, was tell us who was going to win the upcoming challenge, and considering it only lasted 4 episodes, being taken away coming into the swap, even the producers clearly thought the twist didn't deserve to be continued. As of nowadays, we do have small challenge advantages, but are nowhere near overhyped and secluded as the Medallion of Power, and I think it speaks volumes we haven't seen it return. This video was talking about the 5 pointless twists in Survivor, but if you want another video talking about, in my opinion, the 10 dumbest twists, make sure to check out this video on the top left, as it may include twists you have maybe been wondering why they weren't included in this video. Alternatively, on the bottom left, you can check out this video talking about the top 5 most questionable returnees in Survivor. Nonetheless, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, as we're super close to 1,000 subscribers. Have a great day, and peace!